What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad, Sean, and today, Reactions to the Classics, we got a top 10 list, another one for Mr. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds for our patron and longtime supporter, Fran. Always, Fran, appreciate you. We did a top 10 list for Fran. It was the gentler side of Nick Cave, and today, what are we doing?
We're doing the wilder side. And, you know, last time on the gentler side, we didn't go from 10 to 1. We went chronologically, one from each album. But Fran says this time, I chose a couple of live versions I like better than the studio renditions, and that complicated the chronological approach. I also broke the rule of including only one song per record, so it's a more classic list of my favorite songs in order. You'll notice the huge difference with the previous list. The post-punk gothic influence is more evident. The power of the band is amazing. Some lyrics are more provocative and extreme. I think you will both enjoy it too. It certainly shows a different face of this artist. Not so many album openers in this one, but still a couple. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, hit the big red subscribe button below. Follow us on our social media Facebook group. You have a Discord group.
That's right.
You know, any age, but you know, it seems like the younger folks are popping off in that one. Give the Instagram a follow. Also, if you'd like us to do a top 10 list, a song reaction, an album reaction, whatever, check out our Patreon link below. Our patrons make this thing happen, Trey. And tell us why we're not going to be able to hear the music.
Well, you know, got that pesky copyright.
Yes.
So if you want to hear the music, there will be a link down below. If you already know your Nick Cave, you can just hang out on YouTube and we'll just put a little transition where the song is. And because of that, we're not going to say much during the song itself. We're going to save our reactions really for after each tune. I like to do that too, just kind of soak in the music.
Yeah, exactly, because a lot of channels stop at every 10 seconds, and we just don't do that. And if you do already know all these songs, you're a lot better than me and Trey, because we don't know any of these songs, do we? Do you know any of these?
I know one, or maybe I think I know two. Cause
do we play them in a live stream?
We played one in a live stream, and then I've listened to Let Love In before.
Okay.
But I only know two of these, and
I mean, you remember stuff. Live streams, we do around 30 songs every Friday night, so I don't remember them. I'm getting too old to remember, like, oh yeah, we did that one, but hey.
So I'm looking forward to this one. I'll also link the other Nick Cave top 10 we did below. As always, we're going to have the lyrics pulled up for these. We're starting off number 10, Papa Won't Leave You, Henry, from Henry's Dream in 1992. So let's start this list off strong. Thanks again, Fran.
Thank you, Fran. We'll be looking at the lyrics. You go looking there. I'll be looking here.
And let's get rocking.
Let's do it.
Fran wasn't lying about the wildness, the provocativeness.
It's insane, man.
Ooh, Papa Won't Leave You, Henry. A lot
of lyrics.
I was just gonna say, Nick went all out on the lyricism here, man, and a lot of I'm impressed with the vocabulary, just and you know, the fact he was able to just spit these lines out so quick, a lot packed into these 6 minutes.
He said he visited Brazil, and that's part of the inspiration for a lot of this album when he's walking through the slums and stuff. So some people were like, he never came out and said it, but were kind of speculating that some of those parts, especially like when we get into verse 4 and talking about seeing everybody around, that's where he pulled that from.
No, and it definitely has a very the song's very intense.
It's very intense, and I even like the backing vocals. You just repeat it back to him, but in a manic way, not in like a pretty chord. It builds to the atmosphere of the song. It feels like something you would see in a horror movie.
No, I was gonna say, it's like that tension's building. It's like, I don't know where Nick's gonna go next around that corner, but
then he really took a turn. I think in verse 3, I'm like, okay, all right.
Oh, that's right, man. Well, yeah, the first verse, he sees he spent a night amongst this dead woman's bones, and he just expounds on that. He says, and I bellowed at the firmament. Let's see, again, that vocabulary, not a word you see every day. Looks like the rains are here to stay, and the rain pissed down upon me and washed me all away, saying. And then I found it interesting because the chorus is very sing-along. Papa won't leave you, Henry.
Yeah. Like the first part, he's talking a little bit, I think, biblically speaking, because there's a lot of biblical allusions I read in this as well. So I don't know if he thinks that the heavens are pissing on him or what. I think that's kind of where he's getting at.
Yeah, and then the ghost of that woman still lingers him, though she's passed through me and is gone. And then here, you got the slum dog. So
I think this is where he starts to, and I have no idea what he's describing in verse 3.
In verse 3, yeah,
came
that
upon
was
that
quite...
little house, he entered, and then it just gets real...
it turned south for Nick there. But
Yeah.
man, what a and then that final verse and again that rain theme, entire town's being washed away, and you got lynch mobs, death squads, babies being born without brains, mad heats, relentless rains. Just he paints a picture, man.
It's definitely different, man.
So wow, what a number 10,
It was
man.
enjoyable, man.
Starting off strong, and now we're going to go to number 9 from Her to Eternity. It's from the Live Seas record in '93, and we're actually doing the live version.
Yeah, we're doing the live version. It's from the 1984 album of the same name, which was actually his debut album.
All right, man. So let's get it. I'm glad Fran chose the live version because there's no way the studio version could have conveyed the intensity
The
yet
intensity,
again.
yeah, you just felt it, man. Tension.
And those guitar tones were just very again kind of you would expect this to be in like a horror movie where somebody died in his apartment above.
Well, yeah, just in the story itself, because the story is basically he's obsessed with her. She lives in the apartment above him. Where you're getting this picture of these rundown apartments.
Yeah.
He apparently breaks into her house and takes her sheets, and they tell the story of her life, and then he hears some rattling and some different things, and so she's wearing blue stockings, so maybe she's a prostitute, maybe she's not. And at the end of the story, he figures out he lusts after her so bad, he figures out how he can settle this because he can't have her, apparently. That little girl would just have to go from her to eternity. So I guess he's going to murder her. I mean, what do you get out of this?
Well, especially at the end with the breakdown of the music and just kind of his delivery in the song, you think that this guy is getting ready to cap somebody, man.
I mean, it's progressed from him. The first verse, he caught her tears.
That's
in
right.
his mouth as they were
down.
coming down. So I mean, this guy's not wrapped too tight. And each verse, he just gets more and more manic. So what a song!
No, man, that was
these first two songs are more like movies. Or like performances rather than almost music. I mean, in a good way.
No, definitely, and I would, I'm just kind of envisioning in my mind live, you got some, hardly any lights on stage, very dark, smoke machine maybe going a little bit, I don't know, and I was impressed with the Bad Seeds going in with those guitar tones, being able to really set the atmosphere that reflects the lyrics in this tune, man, so... There you go, Frank. Good choice at number 9. That's not our only live song that we're going to have on this list.
It is not. So we're going to move on to number 8. 15 Feet of Pure White Snow, in parentheses, or no, not in parentheses. That's the album. Come on, Sean. No More Shall We Part from 2001. So,
okay.
Second single off this album. A nice long title. This is probably going to be... something a little twisted as well. 15 Feet of Pure White Snow.
Yeah, who knows what we got here. So let's go now to number 8. Definitely different than these first 2 tracks we've heard, but I still think it fits, even though it was more with that piano and we had some elements there. It still fits on this wilder side just due to kind of his delivery and the subject matter here.
It does, and a lot of biblical allusions.
That's right.
One of the parts talk about raising your hands up to the sky. They talk about on the genius part of it. 2 of the most passionate and mad songs on the album are titled Hallelujah and Oh My Lord. So kind of on this...
on that. Yeah, no, I was looking at the track listing for this. You had, Hallelujah, God is in this house, Oh My Lord, Gates to the Garden. So definitely it seems like kind of a religious themes pop up on this record.
Exactly.
I would assume here. And then you got the, Mark, Matthew, John talking in there. I'm still curious, and I mean, I'm sure the Nick Cave fans can give me some interpretations. What is the 15 feet of pure white snow exactly? You think?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Is it just just life in general and the troubles that it is? It sometimes feels you're just buried under something you can't get out of,
even if you're trying to do it right.
Because he mentions waving to his neighbor, but his neighbor is his enemy. He kept waving his arms till I could not see under 15 feet of pure white snow. And then it get very existential, looking into himself. Is there anybody out there, please? It's too quiet and I'm beginning to freeze. I've got icicles hanging from my knees. So again, that kind of makes me I feel like the snow symbolizes maybe the hardships of life, and then you go to that almost choir-like, the Oh My Lord, and the na 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 na, and then I like these verses: Doctor, doctor, I'm going mad. This is the worst day I've ever had. I can't remember ever feeling this bad under 15 feet of pure white
snow. And he
snow.
says, "Where's my nurse? I need some healing. I've been paralyzed by this lack of feeling." It said he was just recovering from heroin addiction.
Oh, okay.
Before
See,
this, so he was. That might be a little shout out there.
So yeah, but I really dug that one. The arrangement was there, and you know, definitely, you're never just gonna get something half baked here with Nick.
No, you're not.
So dug that one. Keeping maybe with some of those religious themes, we're gonna go now to number 7 here on the list. Dig Lazarus Dig. So
this was a single from the same album in what, 2008? I think.
Yeah, 2008. Yeah,
right.
There we go. We got another whatchamacallit album opener here. Nick always coming through with the album opener. So this looks like the shortest track on this entire list. So let's see what we got. Seems obviously Lazarus, famous from scripture, from being raised from the dead by Jesus, and this seems almost like a what would happen if that happened in the modern day, essentially.
Right, because you start calling him Larry instead of Lazarus, which would be, more common day, like close enough. And
so if, kind of puts a modern day twist on it and essentially details out his rising, his fame, and I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something going on upstairs. I'm thinking maybe, upstairs, up in heaven.
That's
maybe.
What I was thinking. Yeah, exactly.
And then, he travels New York, San Francisco, L.A., all these different places. And let's see. And then at the end of the song, it notes fame finally found him. Mirrors became his torturers. Camera snapped him at every chance. And then afterwards, he starts to fall out of fame. The women went back to their homes. Their husbands' secret smiles in the corners of their mouths. He ended up like so many of us do, back in the streets of New York. So he went to L.A., San Francisco, all these places. He ends up back in New York. He goes down a road: dope fiend, slave, prison, the madhouse, then the grave. And then just that whole thing, dig yourself, Lazarus, back in that hole. Almost these people, they saw him rise, and then once he reached the top, they're like, okay, go back down.
Go back down, exactly.
To where you're at. And interesting music. I don't even know. I guess it was like an organ, and
then the guitar riff was interesting too. The way it drove it,
unique sounding. All
sticks
four of
in
these.
Your head though.
Yeah, the chorus definitely, just the way that it did go so.
That's ridiculous.
And I think that's what we notice in these first 4 tracks is they've all been very different, and they've all been very intense in their own ways.
Intense yet catchy.
Yeah, that's
the chorus part, which is.
Nick's able to kind of
very unique artist, no doubt.
And now we're going to go to a song, Get Ready for Love, which is coming in at the number 6 hole here from 2004. I like that too. We've had a lot of different eras already on this list. Again, opening track from Aperture Blues / The Lyre of Orpheus. So let's see what we got in store right here. Another very full song here. Get Ready for Love. And it's interesting, both in this list and on the gentler side. Nick definitely is open kind of about his thoughts on faith and religion, and just kind of his, it seems, struggle. Like,
I was going to say, this one's very, I don't know if it's anti-religion or
detailing out that struggle. Where
detailing out the struggle. I don't know.
You get ready for love, praise him. We have almost that gospel choir coming in. And then he notes, God rides high up in the ordinary sky until we find ourselves at our most distracted, and the miracle that was promised creeps quietly by.
Right, yeah.
So we're we're praying for the miracle, and then we get distracted maybe by the world, and then the miracle comes through, and we kind of missed it because we were distracted maybe by the world itself. And then he kind of notes the people in their high windowed palace sending grief and joy down in supportable doses. And then the kingdom doors are now shutting essentially, and then again you got a very hook that's very catchy. With
calling everyone girl, calling all around the world. Keeps repeating that. Praise until you've forgotten what you're praising him for, and he just repeats that over. Praise him a little bit more.
And then at the end, I found this interesting. I wonder how this could be interpreted, because he says, I searched the 7 seas and I've looked under the carpet, browsed through the brochures that govern the sky. So
I think that's the browse the brochures that govern the sky, Bible, Quran, all those things. That's what I would say.
Yeah, like searching for
meaning.
For meaning in life. And then whenever he wasn't searching, he was just hanging around doing nothing. He looked up and to see his face as being God's burned into the retina of your eyes. So maybe here, I think maybe what he's saying is you can see almost God most clearly through the actions and the faith of other people in a sense. But you definitely can feel that tug kind of in Nick's heart, where almost you feel like he wants to believe and do that, but he's not quite there. Maybe
quite get there. Yeah, I thought the same thing.
But again, very strong arrangement in this, and again, I thought the guitar work here was the best we've heard up to this point. I agree.
Very good.
With the fuzziness coming in here and whatnot, and Nick, man, always bringing the heavy topics up, and now we're in the top 5 with another opening track, man. We got the Mercy Seat from Tender Prey in 1988. It's been covered by many others, including Johnny Cash. So hey, that's a tip in the cap right there. And the song tells the story of a man about to be executed by the electric chair. The Mercy Seat refers both to the lid of the Ark of the Covenant, going back to your Exodus Old Testament there, and to, of course, the electric chair itself. Song's laden with allusions to Christianity, so as we were just talking about. And if you don't know the Old Testament, the Mercy Seat is a symbol of the throne of God over the Ark of the Covenant that was kept in the tabernacle. So
and the specific allusions go back to the book of Leviticus, specifically chapter 16 and 24. And actually, Rolling Stone editor Toby Cresswell lists this as one of the 1001 greatest songs. So that's nothing light either.
Oh, so there we go. I think this is maybe the longest track on our list, topping in at over 7 minutes. So let's see what we got.
I got to tell you, man, and I don't say this lightly. We listen to a ton of music, obviously. That's one of the most unique songs I've ever heard in my life. It's just the same thing over and over. And I read that this is the most played song, that they played it at nearly every single concert since it came out. And it's so rapid fire. It's not even time for a breath. It's more like a chant.
I was going to say, well, and you had the marching almost drums.
It was just...
Ooh, I'd like to hear. I can't imagine Johnny Cash.
That's what I was thinking. It has absolutely the content you would expect out of Mr. Cash, but not
Wow, yeah,
it was something else.
Yeah, that one was a lot to take in first listen, man. It was I thought it was great, and just the way he was able to kind of put together the mercy seat of God and then the electric chair seat and kind of blend those two together. He the first 2 minutes he's just rapid firing many verses. He introduces, of course, that first verse, the mercy seat is waiting and I think my head is burning.
Because when you go to the electric chair, your skin literally melts away, which is just horrific. But that's what he's talking about.
And in a way, I'm yearning to be done with all this measuring of proof. So I can only imagine people on death row probably at a certain extent just want it all to be done, their case, this or that.
And then of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and anyway I told the truth and I'm not afraid to die. He just keeps, it's like, I just want this to be over with. And then I have no regrets, basically, is what he's telling me. Then he brings Christ up.
That's right, kind of finding, I think, comfort in that, in a sense, because, Jesus died without cause, and this guy is telling his innocence, so he's dying without cause, talking about the tattooed evil across the fist and whatnot. Again, then bringing in the fact of the heaven up in the throne, the Ark of His Testament is stowed. My body's on fire and God is never far away. And then we go, he says his head shaved, he's getting ready. And then that chorus, that first run of chorus starts at 2.5 minutes and takes us to the very...
And then it just goes
And he says there's not the motive, there is no proof. He many times notes he's not afraid to die. He notes that he told the truth. And it just keeps building up. But then at the end, he does the twist. Anyway, I told the truth, and I'm afraid I told a lie. So he either lied, I think, about his crime, his innocence.
Right.
Or he lied about not being afraid to die. Now that it's here, maybe, it's like, oh, this is a little bit scarier than I expected.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's just... Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. We're going to get to the end of this. We're going to pick our 3 favorite songs. These have all been, every single song has been unique.
Oh, yeah, definitely one of the more unique and, just wide variety of sounds that of an artist that we've covered on this channel, man. And we're going to keep that going with the track Jubilee Street, live in Copenhagen. The live version came out in 2018, but
from a 4-track EP that he put out.
And then we had this originally Jubilee Street came from the album Push the Skyway in 2013.
So a newer song.
Yeah, so again, going from the 80s now to this, and I lied. This is actually the longest song on this list, clocking it at almost 8 minutes.
Come on, Trey.
So forgive me. Let's see what we got up here. Number 4, definitely stark contrast from Mercy Seat.
I was just gonna say that, way less lyrics, still a lot of lyrics, but way less lyrics for a song that long. And I guess he's talking about. I guess there's a whorehouse down.
I was about to say Jubilee Street.
And,
that's kind of what I.
His name's in the book, man.
Multiple times in that
Multiple
black
times.
And then apparently, it got shut down when the Russians moved in. And then I guess the girl, the prostitute, used to say all those good people down on Jubilee Street, they ought to practice what they preach. And then Nick kind of notes that he's got, I like this, he's got, I think his mistakes are like a 10-ton catastrophe on a 60-pound chain.
I thought that was very visual.
And then I thought it was a great way to build up the track too. We started off just with that light, kind of, post-punkish, just unique sounding guitar, and then of course that ending after his second verse, it goes where he then I think kind of leaves behind his mistakes and notes he's transforming, vibrating, glowing, he's flying, look at me now, drums come in, keys go in.
Exactly.
It just it was a very powerful way to end the song. Which, again, I think Fran chose a good one to hear live, because I'm sure the studio version is great in its own right, but this one was a nice and a live setting here. So another enjoyable Nick Cave tune. Now we are in the top 3, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a song that I know, and it's probably my favorite Nick Cave tune. There She Goes, My Beautiful World, again from Avatar Blues in 2004. So this one's fantastic. It's a great choice here, Fran. And if you've never heard it, I think you were in for a treat.
Quite the build-up, Trey.
Come on, man. Number 3. What do you think? I was already familiar with it.
That is a fantastic. So that chorus is just great, man.
Probably the best one we've heard.
I think so too. And a lot of lyrics, man.
Yet again, Nick is able to pack a bunch of stuff. And here I like it because he's talking about essentially his creative block, his writer's block. In a sense, he mentions all these people that he goes through all these poets who were able to do this unbelievable stuff, and
with all these
roadblocks. Yeah,
that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, in their face.
And then Nick's note, well, I'm lying here with nothing in my ears. I'm lying here for what seems years, just lying on my bed with nothing in my head. And it's kind of ironic because he's bringing forth such a fantastic tune here, talking about the fact that he can't think really of a fantastic song to sing about. So a little ironic in that regard.
Yeah, exactly.
So really fantastic. And
that one's going to be tough to beat.
The choir coming in yet again, and Nick. That's another reason I love going through these, is you're able to see some of the traits that an artist uses.
Very much so.
And definitely those choirs coming in, absolutely fantastic. I like the thing. I'll ask for nothing in this life. I'll ask for nothing.
Give me everlasting life. Yeah, that part made me laugh.
Just some, again, very unique wordplay there by Nick. And that'll now move us to number 2. We got Stagger Lee from 1966.
1996.
Well, it would have been crazy if this came out in 60s.
But you're not all wrong, Trey, because it's this one has an interesting story to it. Yeah, it came out in 1996 off Murder Ballads. Now, the original Stagger Lee song, it's a popular American folk song about the murder of Billy Lyons by Stag Lee Shelton in St. Louis, Christmas 1895. Song was first published in 1911, first recorded in 1923. A version by Lloyd Price reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1959. So see, you were not too far off. Now, this version by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds is not a cover version of the classic song, but instead an alternative and darker version of the tale itself. Ooh. So it isn't a cover, but it sort of is, because when you compare the lyrics side by side, he just takes the story and kind of repurposes it. But it is...
expands it a little bit.
It is based on that. So I know that was a complicated explanation of something.
Ooh, well, I'm curious to see what Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds do with this then. If it's a darker tale, I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I was to say darker is, yeah.
Stagger Lee, the provocative Stagger Lee coming in at number 2, man. This, this is... I expected something hardcore from Nick, and then he just went over that.
If you're just watching this on YouTube and you're not listening along on Vimeo, I could forewarn you now, which I didn't know before, is that, if you're going to go listen to this song, be forewarned, it's really not R-rated. It's really NC-17. Stagger Lee is a man not to be messed with.
Absolutely not. I do like how Nick went with the cursing and just kind of the hard edge, because it fit the musical backing of the that like haunting guitar, and then at the end, after Stagger Lee kills not only one but 2 people, and you got that woman screaming that I'm assuming is the same woman who's kind of the prostitute coming in here.
Yeah, I'm assuming it is.
Stagger Lee, not to be messed with, man. I really, really just enjoyed how out there Nick was with this.
And it just got more and more out there, boys and girls. I mean, more and more out there.
This sort of fit a nice hardcore hip-hop song. You even had the gunshots in there as well at the end, man. So I see why Fran put this up high whenever you're going a wilder side. This
is definitely out there.
This is the wildest side we've seen from Mr. Nick Cave, man. I did dig that one. And now we're to the number 1 tune on the list, and it's from the only Nick Cave record I've listened to, Let Love In. It's Red Right Hand, the single, and it comes from John Milton's epic poem Paradise Lost, in which it refers to the vengeful hand of God.
Yeah, the song became one of Cave's signature songs, being performed at most of his concerts. Only the Mercy Seat has appeared in more of his live sets since '94. It's since become best known as the theme song to the British crime drama Peaky Blinders, which I haven't watched, but I do know what the show is.
Yeah.
Which resulted in the song receiving a re-release single in 2014, so it's pretty good if you can put something out in 20 years later.
Yeah.
It's been covered by the Arctic Monkeys, PJ Harvey, Iggy Pop, Jarvis Cocker, and Snoop Dogg.
Wow.
Among others. So.
That's an eclectic mix right there for sure. So we'll listen to this number 1 tune, and then we'll give our favorite track. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Red Right Hand coming in at number 1. Top in Fran's list here for Nick Cave's Wilder Side Top 10. The little I know about Peaky Blinders, just kind of the vibe of the show, this seems to kind of fit it perfectly.
That's what I was thinking as well.
I'd be curious to hear some of these cover. This isn't a track I see like the Arctic Monkeys or Snoop Dogg really cover.
I don't either, man. It's not that kind of sound at all. But yeah, I guess that's, you cover it and change it up. We always say we don't want the covers to sound the same. I'm going to guess those two don't.
And again, I think it's kind of the atmosphere and vibe of that spookiness, that haunting nature that a lot of these tracks have had.
I agree.
And the lyrics reflected that.
Yes.
What you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought, as has been the whole time on this, the lyrics draw you in. Every time Nick is telling me a story, and I'm wondering where it goes next.
He does a very excellent job of like framing up his characters.
And he's trying to make the voice more ominous on this one, and obviously with the organ, as you mentioned. Organs in general on songs like this just add a little bit of man, what's about to happen?
I don't know what's coming around, and you mentioned it in the thing. Very rarely you get an organ solo, but we had two on this one. It made for some unique sounds, and this guy, looks like he'll give a little, but he'll take a lot with his red right hand here at play. So Let Love In, very solid record. I didn't really remember this tune because I only listened to this record once, and it was many ages ago.
Yeah, just all kinds of blend.
So Red Right Hand coming in at 1, and now we'll take it to our favorite tune. So for me, man, there was a lot of strong songs.
There wasn't any
list.
bad songs on here, and Fran had said that he thought we'd enjoy this, and I thought, I bet I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the gentler side, but I really did, man. The songwriting is just tremendous.
It really is, and that's what makes choosing a top 3 tough. I'm gonna cheat. Go There She Goes, My Beautiful World.
That was my only one that I was sure of. So.
But I already knew that. I think I gotta give a nod to the Mercy Seat just for how.
That's the other one I was gonna go with, but I don't know what my third one.
How unique that was, and then I really liked 15 Feet of Pure White Snow. So I think I'm going to give the nod to that one with honorable mention just for how wild it was to Stagger Lee. Man, that one was crazy. I definitely dug that one, and the live versions of a Jubilee Street and From Her to Eternity really again showed the power that not only Nick Cave has, but the Bad Seeds band in general.
I'll go Get Ready for Love for my third one, but you could really talk, literally, you could talk me into any of the other 8 for my third favorite track. That's how consistent this was.
And I think that points to the fact as we're wrapping up here, I think Nick Cave would be in the running for one of the most talented guys that, really never made it here in the States.
Yeah, exactly, because, we're not talking about a 5-year run here, a 10-year run. We're talking 20-plus years of consistency just on this list itself.
Yeah, I know. That's...
we go 1992, all the way...
I think we even had one maybe on the debut record that he did in the 80s.
Yeah, we did. It was the live track, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so, From Her to Eternity Live was from 84.
And then we had the track from 2013, so you got 30 years there.
Yeah, you got 30 years there.
And it is interesting how, I know in Australia that's where he's the biggest.
Sure.
How some groups and bands and people get so popular in other areas than here in the States, man. We're a little behind on some of these.
Happens, man,
some of these folks, but I've really enjoyed going through this. Now 20 songs we've heard of Nick.
Me too.
And Fran, really appreciate you bringing this to us. It's very fun. Definitely a guy who I'll go through his discography just because he seems to just expand and mature on his sound.
Agreed.
As the years go on. So it's always I appreciate you in the research.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
And let us know your favorite Nick Cave tunes, whether they're just in general or the wilder side down below. And until next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Happy listening, and we will see you.